We've been talking about peace and how to make sure that you can find peace in tough situations. One thing that we haven't talked a lot about, although personally we've talked a lot about it, is how to ensure that you stay in a place of peace. I think one of the situations that helps you to lose your peace the most is when you're with the wrong people. And we both personally have been in quite a few situations where we've lost our peace almost consistently and constantly over people and having the wrong people in our lives. And we've had very, very real encounters where we've had to make choices on who we allow into our lives and who we make sure we keep out. Because when you have the wrong people in your close environment, you end up with all sorts of issues. And then you wonder why you're tired, you wonder why you don't have peace, you wonder why things aren't going well. And it's commonly said that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with. When I first heard that, I think I was in Ireland, I was in Dublin. And I actually rejected it. A second I heard that, I was like, nope, that can't be true. How can I get rid of all the people in my life? I love them. I'm supposed to be a nice person. And I actually actively, intentionally fought against that thought for months. And then I realized if you want to get anywhere in life, if you want to do anything that's positive, you want to make a difference, you can't be with everybody because everybody has different ideas. Everyone has different defaults and ceilings. And not all, well, no ceilings are good.
No.
And so you've got to get rid of the wrong ideologies out of your life, and that's tough.
I think, like, for me personally, because I feel like I'm a nice person and I want to please everyone, and so when you come to choosing your friends or who you're with, often you just tolerate certain things and you just ignore certain things, and then those, but you know internally this isn't right, or I feel frustrated, or I don't like that, but you tolerate it because you're trying to be nice, and then you're the one who ends up paying in the end because you don't end up being who you are, or you don't achieve what you really want to achieve for the sake of someone else who at the end of the day I don't think really cares, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Have you, Bonnie's tapping him under the table. Have you ever been in a situation where it was worth it, you felt it was worth it to just go along with the irritation or the thing you thought wasn't right, because to deal with it and confront it and go against it would cost you too much?
In marriage? No, I'm kidding. I think maybe that's how you felt in marriage.
But with friends, we'll get to marriage another time.
Friends.
You just thought, so-and-so, they're acting up, but I'm not even going to confront it. It's worth me just going along with this.
Yeah, well, I think there was one person that I did confront, and then because of the reaction, then I decided not to confront it anymore and just go along with it, but ending up hating what that brought and feeling depressed and down and dark and not always understanding why, but just not confronting it because the chaos and the clouds and all of that came with it was worse. I felt worse than not dealing with it.
If you're in a situation where the reaction is not worth it, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
That is extremely toxic.
It is.
And it might even be a small little segment of your life. But if you're in a situation where, I can't say that, even though I believe that to be true, because they're going to react. I'm not saying just break everything. I'm not saying confront them, but just understand that is an unhealthy situation. And somehow you've got to find a way to change that. Whether you change the relationship or you place the relationship in a certain zone where you only interact with them by a certain amount, or you just break that relationship completely, something's got to change. Because that's the quickest way to lose your peace.
Yeah, it's true. And I think, because I feel like we've gone through so much of that, so it's like we came to a place where we just said that's enough. And we don't want that in our lives anymore. So it's like even now, recently or in the last year, we've had to say no to this or draw a line there in relationships or in work or business. And for the benefit of everyone else. You know, it's not just about us, but it's about your company or friendships.
Yeah, anything your hands are on, anything you're involved in. People love to be part of teams, sports teams, and even work teams, where there's an environment and there's fun and people are growing and learning and being challenged. The quickest way to chase people away from anything you're doing is when you have that sort of negativity.
Yeah.
You have that toxicity. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It says in Proverbs, and I've used this against you many times, it's better to live in the corner of a roof than have a nagging wife.
Yeah.
When you're in that situation and it's consistent and it's just negative and you can do nothing right, it's just not worth it. You'd rather have nothing. And I've said to you quite a few times, I would rather live in the bush by myself and have nothing and be free than just to put up with nonsense. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
No, it's not.
But I think some people live under a false burden where they feel like they have to be nice to everyone, they have to live up to certain ideologies, certain expectations. I think in Hong Kong, because family is so important, and that's really healthy, but there's a negative side to some of those elements where those relationships are used as controlling relationships. And there's certain status quos that you have to live up to that, quite frankly, some of them are impossible. They're impossible.
Yeah.
And we know people who will try their best. They'll actually succeed slightly or even at a decent level, and they're still told, oh, no, that's rubbish, that's not worth anything. Those are tough relationships. Like, how do you break relationship with your own mother? That's tough.
It is.
So we're not trying to say that there's a quick fix or easy solution, but it's worth being conscious that you don't have to be friendly and nice with everybody. That actually you can control your friend group. You can't always control who's in your family. Actually, you can never control that. But you can control the rate at which that relationship happens.
Yeah.
When we first got married, there was someone in your life who I felt was husbanding you. It was a woman.
Yeah.
And she was husbanding you. And I used to feel, she would walk around like behind us or next to us. And before I even knew she was there, I would be conscious that she was around. I was like, oh, what is this? It just was a dirty, horrible feeling. It took me like 3 months. We were married for like 3 months before I was like, Bonnie, you got to get rid of this person.
Yeah.
This is evil. This is just horrible. And it took you a while to come around because it looked like I was controlling you. It looked like I was trying to control all your relationships, and that's what controlling people do.
Yeah.
But it was terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. I felt like there was a third person in the marriage.
Yeah. And that all happened because I had this unhealthy need to want a friend.
Yeah.
And it's good to want friends, but there was unhealthy need, and that's how that developed. And then trying to get out of that was hell.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm grateful for going through that, because I don't think since then I've been very cautious.
Yeah, you have.
Who's my friend and who's not.
When we got married, you wanted 7 bridesmaids. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I found like 7 friends and brothers, 4 brothers and friends, and trying to make them like groomsmen to match the numbers. And you ended up getting rid of, or just because of travel and all the rest, you didn't have 7, you had 5. So it looked like I had all these people I was trying to be in the wedding entourage. This is very funny. I think you got to be very careful with who you're friends with. You can be friendly, but be careful with who you're friends with. Make sure you manage your friend group. It's one of the biggest influences in your life. And it's the thing that you'll lose peace over the quickest. In the old days, you would cut covenant with someone, which means you would share blood, you would swap weapons, you would swap clothes. And it meant that if the person that you cut covenant with went into battle, you had to go in battle. You don't break covenant.
Wow.
Which meant you don't cut covenant with people who are going to go into battle all the time. You don't want to be fighting someone else's battles. Be very careful.
Yeah.
And the Bible also says, don't give your cloak and pledge, meaning don't give someone the guarantee that they can use you, or they can use your resources, or they can use your name for something that they want to do. So you make sure you keep very clean. And Jesus said, no, I think it was Jesus, I hope it was Jesus, who said, owe no man anything but love.
Yeah.
So you got to be free of these sort of weird things.
Yeah.
It's the quickest way to lose peace.
But also when you have the right people in your life, then I think that's something we've been talking about, because like in terms of business, you want to expand and grow and build, and in order to do that, you need more people. And
Yeah.
so
That's a very good point, Bunny. I would rather not expand than expand with the wrong people, because it's hurt me a lot. There's been encounter after encounter where I've had the wrong people in the right positions, and we've started to see some expansion. We've started to see some growth, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
In fact, at a business level, I've had to make decisions to cut off certain segments of business to get the wrong people out of positions that were crucial.
Yeah.
Terrible, absolutely terrible. And that's my fault, because I wanted to grow, I wanted to expand, I wanted more profits.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I'd rather be poor and have freedom than not sleep well and have toxicity and people coming to me and saying, oh, it's so-and-so's just playing up. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And it's all my fault.
Causes more drama.
So get the right people in your life. Be positive about it. This is not a negative thing. Build and foster good relationships. If you find someone that you actually click with and you can have a positive relationship, work on it. Build it. Make room for it. Yeah. And if you get things that are dragging you down, actually have a positive outlook with that and address it directly and say, hey, I want to change the relationship here. This is not helpful for either of us. And if that doesn't work, then go, you know what? We can be nice, but we're not going to be friends. I think that's a positive thing.